Hello and welcome back to a brand new Player 2 Plays. My name is Paul James and today we are playing Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's recently, well somewhat recently released on the Switch, and we're going to dive into My Little Island and a few more other details around the game. So this is the first time I've logged in for the day, so Tom Nook is here, that greedy bastard, who's here to take all my money and also give me the news for the day. Hopefully there's not much. Ah yes, right. Yeah. So basically I've spent a little bit of money, I've collected some necessary resources, I've upgraded my house, but I've also been able to upgrade my little shop, which previously was that green tent you can see in the background there, to a brand new proper shop for Tom Nook. Yeah, I even had to pay for that. It's taking a phone call. Shut up, mate. So you'll get this little pep talk at the beginning of every day that you play the game. Keep in mind that this is mapped to your game clock, just like past entries and your game calendar, as opposed to some internal thing. We'll wait for the loading screen to pass, and then we'll go and explore the island. We'll go and explore the shop. We'll get involved in the little commemorative celebration for the opening. There I am. I must say this is the first time I've actually played on a big screen. Looks quite good. So this little pole that I've got here allows me to basically vault onto other parts of the island. Eventually I can get bridges and those sorts of things to connect it all up, but for now I have to vault over the top. Now I've only fairly recently actually gotten access to this part of the island, which is why you're seeing so many weeds over here and it being fairly untended. As you can tell, this is during the Easter event, which it's excessive, the number of eggs that you'll find, and I'll be very glad when it's over, to the point where I went digging for a fossil there and found another egg. Let's try this one. They released an update saying that they were going to cut back on the number of eggs, but we're now 0 from 2. Oh, didn't want that weed. You can shift the perspective a little bit, so obviously we've kind of got a very surface level thing here, but we can kind of tilt that camera a little bit to give ourselves a better look, or a wider look at the environment. Man, 3 eggs. Update 1.1.4 was supposed to clean this up and reduce actually the frequency with which the eggs were supposed to appear when you're digging or when you're fishing, but it doesn't seem like that's been the case whatsoever. So we'll continue to wander around a little bit, and then we'll deal with some of the actual island inhabitants and whatnot. So we've got some rocks here that can be basically smashed through. I've got a stone axe. I don't want to actually use that. I think I have a weaker one, because if I use the stone axe it'll actually break the rock. Whereas I want the contents. Money. This is a bit of a surprise. Is there any more? No, that's it. Oh, I collected a few bells. That's actually a first in all 4. Let's try our luck digging for another fossil. Whoops. Oh my god. So your tools can break with overuse, which is why in that particular case I'm digging with the shovel, but then I'm just filling it in with my foot. There we go, a fossil, finally. I've got some trees growing. I think these are some orange trees, if I recall, once they're all properly shot up. Apparently you need to put a bit more distance between your bamboo, so I'll need to move those around a little bit later on. Oh, a couple fossils now. Good. Our luck's starting to turn. All these eggs scattered on the ground are because there was just an abundance of them and I cracked the shits. We'll throw the fishing rod out there, see if we can catch a fish. You'll find different things, different times of the year, so it is mapped to the calendar. So at the moment, Southern Hemisphere, we're heading towards winter. So the things that we'll get as, you know, kind of things that are local, quote unquote, to the autumn or fall sort of period of the year is what we're getting at the moment, whilst the Northern Hemisphere are getting things that you find during spring. So there's different fish or different fossils or different bugs, etc, etc. Let's chase down that bug there, actually. So all three of those, whether it's fish, bugs, or fossils, can get taken to blathers, who... Oh, yeah, okay. Well, yeah, I will swap it, actually. I'll get rid of the eggs. Then I'll open this up. Yeah, so you get recipes from those, you can then learn those. I might already have it, at which point I'll just toss it away. No, didn't have that one. There's a butterfly, we'll catch that. What? Oh my god. We'll attempt to catch that, there we go. Oh, I don't think I have that one that's kind of crawling along up there. Looks unfamiliar to me. It's not to say that I don't have it, but let's creep up on that bad boy and see if we can... Got it. Yeah, I don't think I have that. Tiger beetle. Swap it, we'll replace it with the... We'll replace the butterfly with it. Alright, so we've got a few fossils, we've got some fish. There's no new fish that we've collected amongst all that. We've obviously discovered the looked at the egg situation. There's far too many of them. You're seeing a lot of them scattered around the island here. And then again, you can see that this part of the island I haven't really explored too much, so it's pretty well... it's a bit of a mess, to be honest. Let me get rid of that weed. And I can't get rid of the sea bass. I'll actually have to sell it or donate it. It'll be sell in this case because I've already got sea bass in at the museum. Good, another fossil. So we might go. We'll kind of venture around my island a little bit more, and then we'll head over so you can see there's plenty of wood that I've collected there. I was just knocking down trees looking for some particular types of wood before. There's stock standard wood, there's softwood, there's hardwood, and that goes towards some of the crafting components to build yourself new tools or upgrade tools, as well as smashing through the rocks like I went to do before, which I'd never received money from it, but when you smash through them, you typically get yourself some iron, and that goes towards upgrading your tools. We've got a few flowers up here. They're all native, but they're all on this raised portion of my map, and so for a while there, until I got this ladder, I couldn't actually access them. Now I can pick them and I can help spread them throughout the remainder of the island. Okay, there's the museum, so we'll drop in there, we'll donate what we can donate, hopefully. There's some fossils that Blathers likes. He really rambles. I'm not going to listen to his description of any of the things that he wants to provide. He's going to complain because it's daytime and I'm waking him up. Harden up. Chadley, by the way, Chadleyton, named after the really uptight, weird NPC in Final Fantasy VII Remake. So we'll get him to assess these fossils. Good, there's at least something in there that's not part of the collection. What frustrates me with the fossil thing, and this is just Nintendo UI stuff, I could at least assess and donate at the same time, but he forces you to, like, you give them back to him and then you can make the donation separately. Just let me do them all at once. Okay, so the Trilobite I already had. Apparently I'd already donated a Tiger Beetle before, but the tail and the Patera Wing, I can donate both of those. We'll move on. So there's a few new donations. We'll go sell the rest. Then, as the little blinker up the top there was indicating, so with L1, we've got our Nook Miles here, which for completing certain daily objectives, you can see across the top here, I get a few fossils assessed. That gives me some Nook Miles. Those are a separate currency to your bells that allow you to spend on different things, which we'll explore when we get to the shop. So I can redeem some Nook Miles. That'll get me more Nook Miles. And then there's a whole bunch of other... This is almost their in-game achievement system of sorts that you'll kind of... So there we go, what did I do? Number of DIY recipes I've collected, that gives me... That's an in-game achievement. And it gives me some Nook Miles for it, which I can then spend on other items. Let's see... Anything else? Still plenty that I haven't actually unlocked or done yet in any way, shape or form. They'll sort themselves out in time. But then there's those daily ones across the top there. Alright, we'll go to the shop, we'll sell what we've got, explore the new Nook's Cranny that I had built overnight. I don't recall where I actually put it up the top there. This is my house, we'll come back to that shortly. I got mail apparently. So as I mentioned before, there's that little box there at the front where I can toss in things and get them sold quickly that way. But we'll head in anyway. Oh, privy to a little conversation here. I think when the Able sisters, if I remember. It's been a long time since I've played an Animal Crossing game. Yep. Come on, come on, come on. Yes, yes, we'll do that. The waffle can be a bit much. Blathers is not the only one to ramble on at times. Some of the dialogue can be a little bit painful and excessive. Me patiently standing there like a champ. Of our beloved President Nook. So by like previously, all I could just buy with the bare essentials, the most basic things. Now I can start to get some decorative bits and pieces, as they mentioned, like so like some no, they're just recipes. Some different wallpaper or like flooring designs, and those all rotate fairly often. They'd almost look Zelda inspired in some aspects, but there's a whole bunch of custom ones that people are sending QR codes and bits and pieces out for, and actual codes out for, that you can redeem those and add them to your mix as well. Anyway, oh, turnips. Turnips people are going mad for on Twitter at the moment. Hot item of the day. Okay, cool. And then there's the drop-off box, which was spoken about before. So let's... So in some ways it's still going to pay to actually go in and speak to these two. Yeah, now I want to sell what I've got. So we'll get rid of the Tiger Beetle, Trilobite, sea bass because I've already got all of those. Run the numbers, they'll sell, probably get jack shit. That's not too bad. The fossils seem to be worth a bit. And all this money is basically going to my coffers at the moment, which I'll then spend to pay off a loan for the house that I recently had built. And then just when you think, oh great, I've got that paid off, they offer a new upgrade, which you then have to pay exorbitant amounts of money for. They're still going to tail me the whole way out. And you get stuck in this cycle for a while until eventually you've built everything you possibly can and upgraded everything you possibly can. So we'll go to my house and then we'll make tracks. So again, I've got some mail. What's the mail? Yep. Dodo Airlines. Yeah, we don't have any options, so whatever. My house, very basic at this point. I'd only actually acquired one piece of wallpaper, one piece of flooring, so it is what it is at the moment. But it'll eventually grow. I'll get myself a bed that's a bit better. This pathetic little couch. I'll replace a few things in time, but that's my shitty little home. Now, we've gone through a few different aspects of the game so far. In fact, there's a spot for a money tree, so let me take the shovel out. And those shiny spots like that, where the money came from, they're prospective spots for money trees. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bury that money that I just dug up. That'll grow into a money tree. I've got a few that are growing off to the... well, one off to the right here somewhere. I think it's this little one here that's still not quite full size yet. And it'll start to bear money on it, just like... Let me put that away. Eventually, when it's full size, it'll start to drop money similar to how... oh no, get away, bees or wasps. It'll start to drop money just like... oh my god, they're still coming. Oh. They'll start to drop money just like the trees drop fruit. Alright, now the last thing we're going to do, Dodo Airlines, which was referenced before, we're going to head off to another island, so you can do this via online services. So you can... and this is very Nintendo with the architecture there. You can keep your island closed and keep your children, if it's kids that are playing the game, protected from the rest of the world if you want. You can open up the doors to the airport so that you can either fly out, visit other islands, or invite other people, friends on your Switch, in. So I'm going to fly out in this particular case because I've already teed up a little deal. Local, so you can play locally. Anyone who's connected to, well, local, or online. Now I'm going to be doing online here. Yeah, let me get connected to the internet. Yep. Now, one of the other things you can acquire back in the Nook shop there's this little voucher you can take that takes you off to this random other island where you can find new potential inhabitants for your island, as well as a whole bunch of different resources and things you can bring back there as well. But I'm going to go visit one of my best friends in the game. Hopefully that island is unlocked for me. I do. There we go. Let's fly. Coincidentally, my wife's island. Now that's, regardless of the status of who that person is, it's inaccessible unless they open up the gates to their island. So no one can come, I can't just rock up unannounced. Well, I can, I guess, if she's already opened up the gates, but she would have to have opted into that already for that to be possible. So I'm going to fly out here. Very Nintendo on her end right now. She's going to be getting a notification that says that I'm coming to visit. And at that point, basically the whole game pauses while the game essentially loads me into her world. It's a little bit much as far as I'm concerned. Very Nintendo. And taking far too long. So we're flying in. You can see she's been spending a bit more time on the game than I have because there's a lot of detail here. You can see the different plants, there's peaches she's growing, you can see there's another tree that she's growing here, there's some other inhabitants outside of herself. There's obviously a lot of similarities at the end of the day. There's not a huge amount of depth to what you can and can't do. You could basically replicate the exact same island if either of us so chose. We've got this little dude over here, one of her locals. Maybe she'll be wandering past. She's got to be playing for me to be able to access, so she'll be wandering around somewhere. Maybe hiding if she works out where I am. So we've got the island here, and basically you can see, like, I had cherries on mine. She's got peaches that grow natively on her island. She'll be able to play the game again now, by the way. There was that brief little notification, but then... Oh! We won't tell her that we're stealing one of her fossils. She'll spot me in the act. Oh, it's an egg. Here's me thinking I was getting away with murder there. Anyway, we'll keep wandering around. So the general shape of the island's different, but it still basically features the same sorts of things. I discovered, I'm sure she probably already knows about it, I discovered this weird little just convenient shortcut in the shape of her island before. If I go up this ladder here, it'll allow me to skirt right around the boundary. Saves a little bit of time. I assume she probably knows that already. You can see far better maintained, this place. A bit more time, there's a bit more... Well, there's a few more things that have grown, and it seems to be life in various pockets of the island as opposed to my shithole. Let's spot a fishing. Let's see if we can find something different. You can, of course, obviously we're both based in the Southern Hemisphere. If you've got friends that live in the Northern Hemisphere, or the opposite hemisphere to wherever you are, you could go visit their islands and potentially access... Yeah, black bass is something that I've found on my island as well. You could potentially access the stuff that they've got in their part of the world. Let's see, there's no bugs there. Now, anything that's here, so for example, I can't just come in and try and troll and steal her stuff. I can, you know, pluck some flowers, as I just did then. I hope she doesn't hate me for that. But I can't just come up and steal all her stuff. Like, if I crash her house right now, don't even know if she's home. Might be trying to hide in here for all I know. I can't just walk in and steal her stuff. I can't just walk in and pick up this pot plant or any of that. It is protected, so you can't just have someone who's a bit of an arsehole come in and rage your world and steal all your stuff. There is a limit to that within the confines of your property, but then, so clearly recently got this new extension but hasn't done anything with it just yet. You can't just rummage and steal all their stuff. There's certain things you can lay out, and I can't say that I noticed when we walked in, but I was a bit slower to get started on the game, so she was already well ahead and left me, like, I would come to the island and she'd leave me a few different goodies that I could take with me, whether it was iron ores or whatever the case was, to build myself up a little bit quicker than maybe I would have otherwise. Recipe that helped me get the ladder, etc, etc. Let me tuck that away. I swear she knows where I am, it's just avoiding me. So I'll just, if she's listening in the next room, I'll now just start stressing where I'm going, give her incorrect directions. Yeah, she would leave me a little stack of things here that I could take with me and leave. So we'll head up this way. Oh, gumball machine. So, see, I can't, there's nothing I can do. I can't take that, which is good. You don't want people coming into your game and stealing all your hard-earned. Oh, there she is. I wanted that. I want that. I reckon I haven't caught that sort of firefly bug thing previously. Of course, it's scooting away from me. I reckon that's new. Oh, maybe I have it. I don't know. Let's see if we can't skim a fossil off the top here. And then we'll just cover up the hole and no one will know any different. Until she watches this video back and kills me later. So the island itself, like I said before, it's more or less the same sort of thing. It's just different shape. But she's a bit further along the road than I am, so there's little bridges between the different parts of the island, so you don't have to pole vault over like I did there. I'm sure if I continue down here, there'll be a bridge. There we go. It allows me to cross. But the core idea, and so we've got another occupant that's going to be moving in soon. The core idea is largely the same. It's just far better detailed. Oh yeah, I won't have any room. So we might make tracks because we've kind of got the general gist. It's far better than the shithole that I'm building at the moment, and probably will always remain so. So we'll head back. We'll go back to my island. Hopefully those bees aren't, or those wasps I should say, just aren't loitering around the entrance to the airport, ready to get me when I come back. They're arseholes, so they probably will. But then we'll look to wrap things up from there. We'll go see if that fossil was anything new. Yeah, I want to go home. There is a little chat box as well. You can have some exchange some dialogue between yourself and up to 8 others that can occupy your island at any given moment. I got told off for picking flowers. You might have just seen that pop up at the end there. Still doesn't know that I stole a fossil yet. And I won't get that notification in this recording, so I'll just have to copy an earful when I leave. So we're flying back again. Back to my dump of a town. If those bees are outside the door, or those wasps, when I walk outside the door, I'll lose my shit. But I might also go out there with a net, just in case. Oh, not even giving me that chance. They're throwing me in the deep end. No wasps though. Alright. So you can see these are some of the plants. Like I said, mine natively, I have cherries. But she's giving me some peaches, there's some apples, there's some pears, I've got the orange trees that are growing. Down by the beach here somewhere, we had coconuts. There's a coconut tree. So all these things there's different plants that you can kind of build up and eventually... Oh, I just mashed one of my own plants. No, I don't want to go to Nook's Cranny, I want to go to the museum. We'll see if our stolen fossil is actually any good to us. You watch, it'll be a really good one. She'll explode when I tell her. Yes, 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 you were asleep 10 minutes ago when I woke you up too. We'll assess the fossil. Oh. T-Rex tail. I am going to donate. So I can donate this way. If I have multiple things, then all of a sudden it plays Funny Buggers with me. And there's his option to give me a pep talk. No. No, Blathers. I'll see if... I'm pretty sure I've already donated a dragonfly before. Yeah, nothing that I can donate. So then we'll go down into the fossil portion here and we'll go take a look at that dragon... T-Rex tail that we just unlocked. Presumably it's scattered around. There's trilobite, there's some other bits and pieces I found, amber, other bits and pieces over the journey so far, but there'll be far more still to find, especially as some things will unlock in certain periods of the year, so it's encouraging me to keep coming back. You can see parts of other fossils that I've accumulated so far. That definitely won't be the tail for our T-Rex. T-Rex might be up the back here somewhere. That might even be the big T-Rex right there. And I just need to unlock a bit more. Let's go and take a quick look. Spinosaurus. And T-Rex. So there's our tail on the right there that we just unlocked. And if we continue to find the other parts, we'll build the entire fossil. And look, it's not a compulsory thing to do, but it's one of those nice little things you can do. This is a very calming, relaxing sort of experience, Animal Crossing. And why are you doing what you're doing? There's no real reason for it, but it's just to have a bit of gentle, relaxed fun. So we'll get out of the museum and then we'll wrap things up for this episode. In fact, we'll do it just here. So, that was Animal Crossing New Horizons. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share and subscribe. All the buttons are down below. Hit the notification bell, that way you're alerted to every new video the moment it goes live on the channel. That includes Patched, The Insider, Player 2 Plays, Late Game Review, Gamer School and a whole bunch more. There's some awesome stuff there on the channel, so please subscribe and go and check it out. Visit the website player2.net.au where you'll find reviews, previews, opinion pieces, news, features, links to the podcast series Patched, which also has an audio form, the Player 2 Pixelcast, and Dev Diary, where we've had some fantastic guests over recent weeks and months. Today's episode going live the day that you're watching this video, the day that this video goes live anyway. Mu Yu from Foam Sword Games, he worked on some Ratchet and Clank games back in the day. He worked on Media Molecules, work with Little Big Planet, and most recently, in his own studio there, Knights and Bikes. So go and check that podcast out. It is available now. 5-star reviews help with exposure. We'd really appreciate the support if you can offer it. Speaking of support, we're also on Patreon, patreon.com/player2au. Kick in a few bucks. At the lower tiers, you'll get early access to episodes, while at the higher tiers, monthly episode exclusives. Finally, there's Twitter. You can find me at Paul James Games. The website you'll find at player2au. And until next time, that has been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm probably going to get an earful for stealing that T-Rex tail, but you won't see that. Thanks a lot for watching. Cheers.